Now friends, let's talk about question number 11. Set of all real values of lambda for which the function fx is equal to 1 minus cos square x times lambda plus sin x. X belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 has exactly one maxima and one minima we have. Now that means this is a problem which is based on the concept of maxima and minima, and also it is under the banner of application of derivative. It's a very important concept we have. Now if I talk about this part, so this is the function which has been given to us. So it has one maxima and one minima exactly. So what we can do, we just, because the extreme condition need to be used, that means f dash x is equal to 0 we can take, right? So f dash x equal to 0 means we have to differentiate this. So once we differentiate fx, what we get f dash x is equal to, we have sin x into cos x into, we have 2 lambda plus 3 sin x, so which is equal to 0, right? Now x is equal to 0 is going to be one point we have. Now if I talk about how to go about the values of lambda, so this expression need to be equated with 0. This is nothing but we have 2 lambda plus 3 sin x is equal to 0 we have. That is sin x is equal to, we have minus 2 lambda divided by 3 we have. Now it's a very interesting thing. We know that sin x lies between minus 1 and 1. So we can just write minus 1 less than equal to minus 2 lambda divided by 3. This is less than equal to 1 we have. So lambda can be lying between minus 3 by 2 and 3 by 2. But 0 is also there. But if we take lambda is equal to 0, the interesting part is we have, suppose lambda to be 0, say lambda is equal to 0 we have. That means, suppose we take lambda is equal to 0, so it becomes sin cube x. So sin cube x is a monotonic function, so it will not give you the point of maxima or the point of minima. So lambda is equal to 0 we have to avoid. We have the final answer to be minus 3 by 2, 3 by 2 and minus of 0 we can write. So the fourth option seems to be the correct one. Now friends, let's talk about question number 12. We have an integer n. If n cube minus 1 is even, then n is odd. The contrapositive statement of this statement is what? These are the 4 options which are given to you. You can just have a look at it. See, for an integer n, if n is odd, then n cube minus 1 is even. For an integer n, if n is even, n cube minus 1 is even. For an integer n, if n is even, n cube minus 1 is odd. For an integer n, n cube minus 1 is not even, then we say n is not odd. Contrapositive statement of p tends to q is negation of q implies negation of p. So the third option is the right option we have, that if n is even, then n cube minus 1 is odd we have. So this is the third one is the right option we have. Now friends, let's talk about question number 13. For all twice differentiable function f such that r to r with f of 0 is equal to f of 1 is equal to f dash 0 is equal to 0, we have f double dash 0 is equal to 0, f double dash x is equal to 0. For some x belongs to 0 comma 1, f double dash x is equal to 0 at every point x belongs to 0 comma 1. Then we have f double dash x is not equal to 0 at every point x belongs to 0 comma 1. So if you see here, the concept used will be Rolle's theorem in this case. So you have been given f of 0 is equal to 1, you have been given f of 1 is equal to 0, and you have been given f dash 0 is equal to 0. Now since this function is a differentiable function, so it will imply continuity also. That means by Rolle's theorem, there exists a point C such that f dash C is equal to 0. So for all C belongs to 0 comma 1, right? So you have been given f dash C is equal to 0, then we have been given f dash 0 is equal to 0. So by Rolle's theorem, again we can say that f double dash x is equal to 0 for some x belongs to 0 comma 1 we have. So the second option is the correct one we have.